ISRO 25. Hi students, how did you write the exam? ISRO 2025. So, yes, team civil will discuss our paper. We will start with this is the weightage of various subjects, building material as usual the highest weightage. Next, structural analysis and design of steel structures 9. Environmental engineering is with the highest weightage again 11, and aptitude is a fixed 15 marks weightage, totally 95. We will we will discuss the subjects one after the other. First of all, we will start with surveying. The questions are very easy questions, straightforward questions, as the exam is diploma oriented exam based upon the diploma syllabus. The questions are straightforward, and here there is a chance of committing silly mistakes. That is the main point. Time is a constraint, and if you could able to avoid silly mistakes, you can reach 95 to 100% of the marks. Coming to the first question in surveying, if you look at this question, the 0 meter contour line represents, the 0 meter contour line is nothing but the coastal line. Especially in this case, you can go by process of elimination also. Coming to the next question, branch of civil engineering, branch of survey which includes the work of larger magnitude and higher degree of precision, we need to go for geodetic survey, where the curvature of the earth is also considered. Now, coming to the next question, contour line of different elevations intersect only in case of, very standard question, in case of overhanging cliff, the contours of different elevations may intersect each other, which is not a correct match. This is from survey. Instrumental error. So, instrumental error is error in sighting. Error in sighting is a personal error, is not related with instruments. So, answer is directly option A. Coming to the next question, it is a slightly numerical question. The magnetic bearing of a line AB is given. Calculate true bearing of the line if the declination is 7 degree 30 minutes east. Say this is our true north, and the magnetic north is towards west. This is magnetic north. Magnetic bearing is taken from 7 degrees 30 towards west. Magnetic bearing is taken from the magnetic south to east. This is magnetic north, this is magnetic south, and the bearing of a line is given like this, and this is given south towards east 28 degrees 30 minutes, and this angle is 7.3, this is also 7 degree 30 minutes. Now, they are asking you the true bearing. True bearing should be from true south towards east, true east. So, south towards east, this is south towards west, wrong, this is wrong, south towards east, either this or this. So, 28 plus 7, it is not 21, obviously it should be 36, south 36 degree towards east. So, answer is option C. Next, coming to this question, elevation of a benchmark is given. Say suppose the benchmark, its elevation is given as 210.5 meter. The back bearing of the line, the staff reading here is 2.32, and there is a point in the front side. The height of instrument here is 2.65. Now, what is RL of the point A? RL of point A is given by 210.5. We need to go up by 2.32 minus 2.65. So, if you take this, the answer is 210.17. Nearest not nearest, exactly the same answer is option A, straightforward question. Now coming to the transportation engineering, here also the questions are very simple and straightforward. Look at this question, which of the following best describes the behavior of bitumen as a viscoelastic material, viscous plus elastic material. Purely elastic under all temperatures is wrong, because it is having two parts. Truly viscous at room temperature is also wrong, because viscoelastic two parts are there. Coming to the point C, option C, elastic at low temperature and viscous at high temperature. This is a suitable option. And before you select the option C, look at the option D, exhibits creep only under cyclic loading. It is nowhere related to that. So, the final answer is option C. Coming to this question, the maximum super elevation as per IRC in case of plain terrain is 7%, is a straightforward memory oriented question. Coming to the next, the design CBR value for subgrade is taken as. So, design CBR is maximum of the two values, one is the 2.5 mm settlement and the other is 5 mm settlement for 4 days soaking. So, answer is option C directly. If you know the fundamental, you can directly pick up the answer. Now, coming to the next question, in flexible pavement design, the fatigue life of the fatigue is based upon the repeated loading. It is based upon the tensile strain at the bottom of bottom bituminous layer. So, answer is option C. Coming to the next question, in the CBR method of pavement design, the pavement thickness is inversely proportional to the CBR value. If more is the CBR value, more is the strength and the thickness will be less. Now, coming to the railways, there are simple two questions are there from railways. The creep of the rail is longitudinal movement of the rail because of the continuous movement of the train. Coming to the next question, the function of ballast. Ballast is to distribute the load and also to disperse the rainwater. Answer is option B. Now, coming to the strength of material, numerical questions are there from this strength of material. Look at this question, a column of length 4 meter, actual length is 4 meter, fixed at both ends. What is the Euler's buckling load? So, Euler's buckling load is given by pi square by L square into EI. L is effective length for column fixed at both ends. Effective length is equal to actual length by 2. Actual length is 4 meter, 4 by 2 whole square. Pi square and EI value is given as, pi square EI value is given as 9.6 into 10 power 6 Newton into meter square. If you simplify this, there is no need of calculator, you can directly simplify this. It becomes 2400 kilonewton. So, answer is option D directly. Okay. Now, coming to the next question, the material has Young's modulus 102 gigapascal, Poisson's ratio 0.33, what is the bulk modulus? So, you know the relation between Young's modulus and bulk modulus with the help of Poisson's ratio 1 minus 2 mu. So, if you substitute the values 102 into 10 power 3 gigapascal converted into megapascal 3K, 1 minus 2 into mu is 0.33. 2 into 0.33 is 0.66, 1 minus 0.66 is nothing but 0.34, 3K into 0.34 is equal to 102. So, K value will be 100 gigapascal. So, answer is option C. Slight simplification is required in this area. Now, coming to a thin cylinder, they are asking you hoop stress. Hoop stress is given by, in a thin cylinder, PD by 2T. The pressure is given as diameter of 1 meter, thickness, the pressure of 4 megapascal, diameter is 1 meter, nothing but 1000 mm, divided by 2 into thickness is given as 20. If you just simplify, it becomes 100 megapascal. So, sigma H is option B. Now, coming to the next question, a square steel rod of width 25 mm and length 2.5 meter is subjected to an axial load of 75 kilonewton. What is the elongation? The change in length is given by very standard formula PL upon AE. The force P is given as 75 kilonewton. So, 75 into 10 cube Newton. Length is 2.5 meter, 2500 mm, divided by AE value is directly given 1.25 into 10 power 8 Newton. If you simplify, this change in length will be 1.5 millimeter. So, the answer is option C. Now, coming to the next question, a beam of rectangular cross section B into D is subjected to shear. The ratio of maximum shear stress to average shear stress. For a rectangular, tau max to tau average is 1.5. It is a straightforward memory oriented question. So, these are the questions of strength of material. So, I wish you all the best. Please check up the options, and our next faculty member will come and explain the next subject. Thank you very much.
Consumptive use of water for a crop includes only evapotranspiration, percolation losses, all this water for photosynthesis is also included in that. Correct answer is A. The outlet that maintains a constant discharge irrespective of water levels in the distributed water course. Outlet which is having a constant discharge is the rigid module. So, C is the right option. Only one question has been given in hydrology, engineering hydrology. An aquifer which is classified as confined aquifer, on both upper side and lower side we got the impermeable layers. So, option B is the right option. I hope I have answered all three questions correctly. All the best.
Hi, myself P. Venkatrao. We were given 4 questions. Look here, the basic very standard level question, the standard form of the equation of the sphere is x minus a whole square plus y minus b whole square. The standard form of the equation of the sphere is x minus a whole square plus y minus b whole square plus z minus c whole square equal to r square, where r is the radius. Rank of the matrix, if you find the determinant of the matrix, you will get determinant of 3 by 3 matrix is 0. So that there are several 2 by 2 matrices. Among all 2 by 2 matrices, minimum one 2 by 2 matrix determinant not equal to 0, then rank should be 2. So one of the determinant of 2 by 2 matrix is not equal to 0. So rank 2. You can verify determinant of 3 by 3 matrix is 0. So rank should be less than 3 and hence rank 2. The curl of a vector field, the curl of a vector field, the curl of a vector field measures the rotation of vector field, and one of the physical application regarding rotation of vector field is measure of angular velocity or rotation of a vector field. So Laplace transform, using Laplace transforms, by applying Laplace transforms on both sides of any higher order differential equation, it will be converted to an algebraic equation. It is very basic level question. So option C correct, convert the differential equation into algebraic equation. That's it, very basic and fundamental level questions were given. Thank you.
Let us take questions on the subject of engine mechanics. The first question over here, two masses 5 kg and 3 kg are connected by a string passing over a frictionless pulley. The acceleration is equal to how much? This is a very basic Atwood mechanism. In Atwood mechanism, the value of acceleration will be equal to difference in masses m2 minus m1 divided by sum of masses m2 plus m1 multiplied to g. If you do this thing, you'll be getting over here m2 minus m1 is equal to 2 and this is equal to 8. 2 by 8 is equal to 1/4. 1/4 of g is 2.5. So answer over here is 2.5 meter per second square. Option C would be correct. Next question, a pendulum clock is found to lose time. Which of the following could be the reason for this thing? Lose time basically means time period is reducing. You see, time period is equal to how much? 2 pi root over of L by G. For time period to reduce, length has to reduce. So length of the pendulum is decreasing. Option B would be correct. Moving further to questions from fluid mechanics. The first question over here, very basic question. Which of the following hydraulic machine converts hydraulic energy to mechanical energy? These three are converting mechanical to hydraulic. Over here, Pelton turbine is the only turbine. So therefore, option B would be correct. Next question over here. Which of the following is true regarding ideal fluid? Ideal fluid implies inviscid fluid. Therefore, the shear stress has to be 0 regardless of motion. So option B over here, shear stress of ideal fluid is 0 regardless of motion of fluid. So option B is supposed to be correct. Next question, a wooden block of rectangular section 1 meter cross 2 meter cross 5 meter floats horizontally in seawater. If the specific gravity of seawater is 0.64, density of water is 1000 kg per meter cube, the volume of fluid displaced is equal to how much? Now volume of fluid displaced will be equal to, over here we can say force of buoyancy is equal to weight. Force of buoyancy is equal to gamma of fluid multiplied to volume of fluid, that is equal to weight. Weight is equal to gamma of body multiplied to volume of body. Now if you see, volume of fluid from here will be equal to gamma of body by gamma of fluid is equal to 0.64, it is given to you, and volume of body is equal to 5 times 2 times 1, which is 10. So therefore 0.64 times 10 will be equal to 6.4. The answer is option A, 6.4 meter cube. Next question, cavitation in centrifugal pump occurs in which situation? For cavitation to occur, the pressure must fall below vapor pressure. The only option that is telling that is suction pressure falls below vapor pressure. Option B would be correct over here. Moving further, the next question is, if a pump head is 16 meter, delivers a discharge of 0.25 meter cube per second, motor runs at a speed of 1000 rpm, the specific speed of turbine, the specific speed of pump is equal to how much? Now specific speed of pump, if you remember, it is n root q upon h power 3 by 4. The value of n is given as 1000 over here. Root q is equal to, you see, q is given as 0.25, root of 0.25 is 0.5, h power 3 by 4, h is given over here as 16, 16th fourth root is 2, 2 power 3 is equal to 8. So this is 500 divided by 8, 500 divided by 8 will be equal to 62.5. Option C would be correct over here. Moving further, the question is saying an automobile with a projected frontal area of 2 meters square is moving at a speed of 20 meter per second through air. Mass density and kinematic viscosity of air are given. The drag coefficient is 0.3. Drag force is equal to how much? We know the formula for drag force as CD multiplied to area multiplied to half rho velocity square. CD is given to you as 0.3. Area is area is given as 2 over here. Half. Rho is given to you as 1.2. Velocity is given over here as 20 meter per second. So 20 square. So this 2 and this 2 cancel off. 0.3 times 1.2 will be equal to 0.36, let us say, into 20 square. This will come out to be 144 Newton, right? Moving further, these are the questions from the subject of fluid mechanics. I hope the questions were clear. I'll ask the next faculty to take the questions.
Right. Good evening, students. So, myself Uday Kiran, I will be explaining questions coming from building materials topic. Okay. So, for first question, okay, the dormant period in cement hydration is critical for. Okay. See, all the options are actually not correct. Okay. See, during hydration, the first 30 minutes or 40 minutes, which is the initial setting time period, it is a dormant period where the plasticity doesn't reduce. See, that is the period where you are giving time to the mason to work with the concrete, okay, for mixing, placing, compaction and finishing. So, primarily the dormant period, that is once you have prepared concrete, from that moment to the moment when plasticity starts reducing significantly, that is the dormant period. Okay. That period is mainly meant for giving workability to the concrete so that work can be done. Okay. But options, that is not given. Okay. So, here the nearest option will be preventing flash setting. Okay. See, because the dormant period, there will be very low reduction in plasticity. So, if sudden or flash setting happens, okay, then in that scenario, okay, working will become difficult. So, we can say it is for preventing flash setting, but that is not the perfect answer, but among the options, that is the best option. Option B. Right. Next question. Self-compacting concrete must satisfy 3 key properties for satisfactory application. Which of these are the required properties? See, self-compacting concrete, we already know it will compact on its own. Now, that behavior comes because it will flow very easily through obstructions, okay, and at the same time it doesn't undergo segregation and bleeding. Though it flows very easily, but the ingredients don't get separated easily. So, among the given options, you can see option A is correct because of its filling ability, the ability to fill the voids which may be present or which may occur while placing. Passing ability, the ability of the concrete to flow around the obstructions, okay, that is your reinforcement steel or any other obstruction, okay, the passing ability, and segregation resistance. Okay. So, this is very important. See, the concrete may flow very easily, but if it segregates, then you will not achieve the required strength. So, self-compacting concrete should always satisfy the last criteria as well. So, these are the 3 criteria to be satisfied for a self-compacting concrete. Now, microsilica improves concrete durability by, see, microsilica is very fine pozzolanic material. Okay. It has size less than 1 micron. So, when you use microsilica for preparing concrete, what happens is the pores are filled by this microsilica. When the pores are filled by this microsilica, permeability decreases. Okay. Now, in addition to that filling ability, microsilica will undergo pozzolanic action, because of which calcium silicate hydrate will be formed. So, the pore is not only physically closed, at the same time, due to pozzolanic action, calcium silicate hydrate gel will completely seal that pore, making an capillary pores are completely blocked. So, they are blocked physically, at the same time chemically they are blocked. So, that is why microsilica will improve the durability of any concrete material. Okay. Now, see, as the capillary pores are reduced, okay, it is difficult for chemical attack to happen, okay, because for chemical attack, maybe sulfates, maybe chlorides, they need to pass through the pores. This microsilica is obstructing that, hence durability increases. What is the purpose of screed in flooring? Now, what is screed? Screed is plain cement concrete prepared from coarse aggregates of smaller in size. Compared to regular concrete, screed concrete, you use smaller size coarse aggregate, because it is mainly used for leveling the surfaces. See, once RCC slab is cast, the surface may not be very even. Okay. To bring more evenness to the flooring, we use screed concrete. It is a plain cement concrete prepared from smaller size aggregates. Okay. So, basically for leveling the base layer, we use screed concrete. What is the primary advantage of using Maiwan shuttering? So, Maiwan shuttering has been very popular, is being very popular in construction of high rise buildings. Okay. See, Maiwan shuttering gives many advantages. Okay. It is cost effective if repetitions are good. Okay. It will give very good finish, because the centering material is made from aluminum, okay, and it is precisely fabricated in the factory, so that your finish will be proper and good. Along with that, okay, the main advantage, okay, you have many advantages with Maiwan shuttering, but the main advantage is speed of construction. Okay. That is why it is so popular, because the slab cycle when you are using Maiwan shuttering is only 7 days, which is least for any kind of shuttering system. Okay. So, faster construction is the main reason we are using Maiwan shuttering system. Yes, it has all these advantages are correct. It is eco-friendly because repetitions are more, aesthetic finish, yes, smoother finish, low cost, yes, all are true, but the main reason is faster construction, which is not there in other shuttering systems. The maximum free water cement ratio for M30 concrete in severe exposure conditions is, see, what is the link between water cement ratio and exposure condition? See, as the exposure condition becomes more and more severe, it may damage the durability of your concrete. So, the severity as it increases, okay, durability of concrete will get severely affected. So, to counteract that, you need a concrete with less pores, less permeability as severity of exposure condition increases. Okay. So, for mild exposure conditions, okay, water cement ratio IS 456 says that 0.55 is the maximum free water cement ratio, that is for mild. For moderate conditions it is 0.5, for severe it is 0.45, very severe scenario again 0.45, extreme case it is 0.4. So, as you can see, as the severity increases, we want to reduce the maximum allowable water cement ratio, so that the pores and permeability of that concrete is reduced and the exposure condition will not damage your concrete. Okay. So, in our case for M30 it is 0.5 for severe situation. Okay. We have 5 kind of scenarios: mild, moderate, severe, very severe and extreme scenario. So, for severe it is 0.45. Okay. Right. which IS code governs the testing of aggregates for concrete? See, IS 2386, okay. There are many parts involved in that. For each and every test, there is a different part. So it deals with testing of coarse aggregates, testing of aggregates for concrete. Okay. IS 2386 deals with that point. In concrete, well graded aggregates with a variety of sizes can reduce. So when you are using well graded aggregates, what happens is your concrete is more compact, and because of that permeability is reduced. See what happens if your concrete is compact, okay. Permeability of water, okay, the channel is more longer now, okay. So as it has to maneuver through different size of aggregates, the water or chemical or any substance, okay, along well graded aggregate the maneuvering is difficult, the maneuvering channel is lengthy, so permeability is reduced, okay, if you are using well graded aggregates. The deduction for a small opening less than 0.1 meter square in plastering is, see, this is dealt based on IS 1200, okay. So this is a standard code for measurement for different type of civil engineering works. This is the standard followed across the country, also prescribed by National Building Code. Now IS 1200 has total 29 parts. Right from part 1 dealing with excavation, it will deal with all kinds of civil engineering works, how they have to be measured. Now when it comes to plastering, okay, we go for IS 1200 part 12, okay. So part 12 deals with, okay, plastering and pointing measurement, okay. Now here in that case it is given as if the opening is less than 0.1 meter square, okay. So here IS code IS 1200 says that if the opening is less than 0.5 meter square, okay, then you should not do any deductions while taking measurements for billing to the contractor or whatever is the reason. Deduction should not be done if it is less than 0.5 meter square. So it is for 0.1, no deductions have to be made. For 0.5 to from 0.5 meter square to 3 meter square, okay, if that is the opening size, only deduction of plastering on one side should be done. If that opening is more than 3 square meters, then complete deduction, full deduction has to be made. So for our case, no deduction has to be made. Which of the following is true about igneous rocks? So igneous rocks, how are they formed? See, the molten rock, lava or magma, when it gets cooled, okay, it solidifies and you get igneous rocks. So option B, they are formed by the cooling and solidification of magma or lava, right. So that was questions from building materials, okay. So questions were relatively easy. I hope you have done well in the exam.
Now let's discuss about the questions regarding to the geotechnical engineering and open channel flow. Now if you see the first question, so if the void ratio of a soil sample is 1.08, then what is the porosity of the sample? So given void ratio is 1.08 and the porosity N is equals to E by 1 plus C, which is 1.08 by 1 plus 1.08, so 1.08 by 2.08. If you observe carefully, so now the whatever the value, this is more than half, 1.08 by 2.08, this is just more than half, which is nothing but more than 50%. So see the options, out of all the options, the only option that is more than 50% is option C. Next, critical hydraulic gradient of a soil increases when? So what is the critical hydraulic gradient? IC is equals to G minus 1 by 1 plus C. If you see over the options were given with respect to the void ratio and specific gravity. So the critical hydraulic gradient increases either if a specific gravity increase or void ratio decrease. So from the given options, the void ratio decrease, the option B. Now come to the third one. A stratum of clay 2 meters thick undergoes 80% consolidation in 10 years. So in the case of sample 1, the thickness of the clay was given as 2 meters. It undergoes 80% of the consolidation in time 10 years. Now under the single drainage condition, under the same drainage condition, so you don't need to change the drainage path, but how long will it take for 80% consolidation of 8 meters thick stratum? So now the sample 2, this is of 8 meters thick. Now what is the question is, for same 80% of consolidation, what is the time taken? So if you observe carefully, the time is going to be measured by using the time factor CV into T by D square. For a given soil, CV is constant. For same degree of consolidation, TV is also constant. So from here, T is proportional to D square. So T2 by T1 is equals to, D is nothing but drainage path. As there is a single drainage, the drainage path is nothing but the thickness, which is nothing but H. So which is 8 by 2 whole square. 8 by 2, 4 square 16. And as a T1 is given as a 10 years, then T2 is equals to 16 into 10, 160 years. The correct answer is option D. Now let's see the last question of the geotech. The typical specific gravity of a sand. Generally, the specific gravity is around 2.65 to 2.7 for the sand. The nearest answer is option D, which is 2.6. So now come to the questions from the open channel flow. In the case of the open channel flow, they asked a question with respect to the critical depth. So given the width of a rectangular channel B is equals to 1 meter and the discharge is given as 9 meter cube per second. So what they are asking, the critical depth of the flow. So for rectangle, what is the critical depth of the flow? YC is equals to Q square by G whole to the power of 1 by 3. So where small q is nothing but the discharge per unit width, which is 9 by 1, that is also 9. So now 9 square by 10 whole power 1 by 3. 9 square 81, 81 by 10, 8.1 whole power 1 by 3. Forget about that one. So 8 is nothing but 2 cube and 2 cube whole power 1 by 3, this approximately is equals to 2. The answer is 2 meters. Option B. Now see this question, last question. In fluid mechanics, the ratio of inertia force to the elastic force. Generally, the ratio of inertia force to the elastic force is Mach number, but that is a root of inertia force to the elastic force. But if you send that root to the other side, then that Mach square is nothing but the Cauchy number. So what is this Cauchy number? Which is nothing but inertia force to the elastic force. From the given options, the correct answer is Cauchy number. So these are the questions from the geotech and open channel flow.
Hi everyone, we will see the questions from structural analysis subject and design of steel structure. Right. First question, in a propped cantilever, the plastic hinge forms at. Simply mention propped cantilever, but didn't mention load. So propped cantilever beam subjected to point load and propped cantilever beam subjected to UDL. So generally, plastic hinges will form at the fixed support under the point load and at the fixed support, but it is not at the center. Generally, it is 0.414
L. Okay, right. Here given mid span. So if it is UDL, it is not mid span. Okay, so we can eliminate this one. Free end, it is not possible. Fixed support, points of loading. So points of loading means under the point load it is possible. Okay, but we have sequence of plastic hinges, right? Okay, where bending moment is maximum, there first plastic hinge will form, sequence of plastic hinges. Okay, if you find the elastic bending moment for both the loadings at the fixed support, bending moment you will get maximum. Okay, so we can say fixed support, option C. Next question, the shape of the influence line for shear force at mid span of simply supported beam. Simply supported beam at the section at the mid span given, right? Okay, so what is the shape of ILD? ILD for shear force, so it is a triangle. Okay, then option A is correct. Next, which bridge components transfer load to the foundation, that is abutments. Next, the bridge which is raised during passage of ship, okay, that is bascule bridge, we can lift the bridge. Next, if a beam plastic section modulus, that is ZP equals to 1.5 but given notation Z, okay, and elastic section modulus will follow the Z, right, but here given S, okay, and its shape factor. So shape factor equals to ratio of plastic section modulus by elastic section modulus, right. So plastic section modulus is given 1.5, elastic, so this is 1.5. So option B is correct. Next question, 3-hinged parabolic arch. Students, if you find the static indeterminacy for 3-hinged parabolic arch, you will get ds equals to 0. So this is determinate structure, okay, but problem is this is determinate structure, okay, statically indeterminate structure we can eliminate this one, and it is not a unstable structure, but kinematically indeterminate structure is given. Students, if you find the decay for this diagram, you will get greater than 0 only. It means this is statically determinate and kinematically indeterminate structure. So here both options are correct. So I think examiner thought about statically determinate, but actually this also correct. So I will prefer option A. Next, propped cantilever beam of span 4 meter carries a UDL 12 kilonewton per meter, the vertical reaction at the prop. Students, propped cantilever beam subjected to UDL over the entire span will get the prop reaction direct formula 3WL by 8 only, right. Okay, so here W is given 12 and span is given 4 divided by this is 3WL by 8, right. Then if you solve this one, you will get 18 kilonewton. Okay, then option B is correct. Next question, collapse mechanism for a fixed beam with point load at the mid span. Fixed beam subjected to point load at the mid span, how many plastic hinges are required to form the mechanism? 3 plastic hinges, that is at the fixed support and under the point load. Okay, if you get ds equals to 1, then you will get the 3 plastic hinges required, then option C is correct. Next, 2 span continuous beam ABC, that is AB is given 6 meter and this also given 6 meter, and that stiffness factor for span AB. Students, far end is fixed support, sorry, far end is hinged support, okay, what is the stiffness? 3EI by L only, right, but what is the length given here? It is 6, right, okay, then this is EI by 2, sorry, EI by 3, then option B is correct. So these are the questions from structure analysis and design of steel structure. So thank you. right. Students, here given 3 EI by L, right. So, span is given 6 meter, then this is EI by 2 actually, okay. So, but there is a no option here, maybe some printing mistake, okay. So, it is not option B. Thank you.
Hi dear students, myself Somsekhar. Here I will give you the detailed solutions for RCC. There are 4 questions given from RCC which are easy questions only. Let us see the first question. The development length of a bar depends on development length of a bar. LD is the development length which is equal to phi into sigma st. In limit state method, sigma st can be written as 0.87 Fy upon 4 times tau Bd. The question is development length depends upon LD depends upon diameter of the bar, grade of steel, tau Bd means concrete grade also. Here given options diameter of the bar, grade of concrete, grade of steel, all the above. Option D is correct. Okay. Coming to the next question, the maximum cement content in concrete as per IS 456 should not exceed 450 kg per cubic meter. This is due to which of the following considerations? 450 is the maximum cement content which is restricted to prevent the shrinkage cracks. Here given option A correct. To prevent the shrinkage cracks, maximum cement content in concrete is limited to 450 kg per cubic meter. Okay, next question. The maximum permissible chloride content in mixing water for RCC as per IS 456-2000. My dear, according to IS 456-2000, the chloride content will have 2 values. One will be for RCC, another one will be for PCC. For PCC, it is a 2000 mg per liter, permitted up to 2000, but for RCC permitted up to 500 mg per liter. Here option given 500 mg per liter, option D correct. Okay. Next question. In a reinforced concrete beam, modular ratio equals to 8, cracking shifts the neutral axis. There is no use of modular ratio here. My dear, cracking shifts the neutral axis. Here given options towards the compression phase, towards the steel reinforcement remains unchanged, depends on load type. For example, if you take a beam cross section having steel reinforcement and this is the initial position of neutral axis, whenever crack develop, the neutral axis position moves upward, moves towards the compression phase, because strain in steel increases at faster rate than strain in concrete. Suppose if you consider the strain diagram initially, but the strain in steel increasing at faster rate, but strain in concrete moving slowly. So, that neutral axis shifted upward means shifted towards the compression phase. Option A is correct. Okay? Right. That is it. I hope you have answered all these questions. Right? All the best. Thank you.
Hi students, small correction in structure analysis. Okay, given stiffness factor for member AB, I thought this is ME. So a given solution for member BA, it is not BA, it is AB. So if it is AB, this is the intermediate support, right? So for intermediate support, for this intermediate support, it is 4EI by L. So stiffness equals to 4EI by L. So span is given how much? It is 6. Okay, then option C is correct. Okay, thank you.
Good evening to everyone. My dear friends, from the aptitude we are getting 15 questions again here. Once observe, my dear friends, here. So choose the image that complete the pattern. Okay. Here you can observe the shaded part to first one, next second place clockwise, again next place, again clockwise, again clockwise. So next clockwise, this is the position important. This is shaded part important. Okay, this shaded part important in this place. In this place shaded part important means here not available, here not available, here available, and here also available. Once observe carefully. Okay, this is the shaded part, and opposite should be diagonals. Okay, alternatively same figure important. Okay, alternatively same figure is important. So then what is the possible option? B is the right answer. Okay, B is the right answer. Next. 15 people, number of seconds formula everybody knows NC2. Okay. So number of seconds 15 C2, 15 C2, 15 into 14 upon 2, 2 sevens, 7 15s, 105. So B is the right answer. Number of seconds NC2. Next, observe the question here. The number of 5 type of the cards produced and rejected for the defeated by the between over the years. What is the question? What was the difference in the number of C-type cards? Number of C-type. So this is the C-type cards produced between the 1984 to 85. 84 to 85 difference. 84 to 85. 84 and 85. Difference 20 and 17. Their gap is 3. In terms of the thousands they given, so answer is 3000. C is the right answer. Next, a watch start from the 5 to 6 o'clock. I want 90 degrees. Okay, 90 degrees. A small shortcut already we know 5 to 6. Hours multiplying 5, 5, 5, 25 plus or minus 15 spaces. So 40 by 11 is one answer. 11 3 is cancelled. 43 7 by 11 is the answer. So B is the right answer. Next. Here 4 persons, okay, observe the information, based on the answer, based on the information, answer is the C is the possible. Okay, C is the possible. Next, here all mangoes are golden color. Okay, mangoes everything involved in a golden color. No golden color things cheap. Okay, this is cheap. This cheap does not touch the golden color. All mangoes are cheap, clearly wrong. Golden color mangoes are not a cheap. Golden color mangoes not a cheap, because gold to cheap completely quite opposite. So B is the right answer. Next, you can observe A, C, E alternative, B left to E left, G, H left, I, J left, then K. Letters 2 plus 4 6, 3 plus 4 8. So K 8 is the answer. D is the answer. Next, here observe the statements. I observed one statement. The red seat is the either 4 or 6. Option, okay, second statement I observed. The red seat is either 4 or 6. So, fourth place, naito sixth place. Okay, fourth place red, naito sixth place red. This is the two possibilities. Okay, based on the options. The green seat is between the yellow seat and blue. Okay, last point, the blue seat comes before the red. Okay, red before blue compulsory, red before blue compulsory. Okay, red before blue compulsory. Okay, red before blue compulsory. Seat 1 is not orange. Okay, fourth. Seat 6 is either purple or blue. Seat 6 is blue or purple. Okay, blue or purple. Last place is blue or purple. B is the right answer. Next, here some books are pens, some books pens. No pen is a pencil. Okay, no pen is a pencil. First, some pens are books, right? Some pencils are books. We don't know. Okay, we are not giving the relation books and pencils, not given. Some books are not pencils. Some books are not pencils. This is also right. All pencils are books. Clearly wrong. So what is the answer? 1 and 3 is the right answer. Next, this is very different question. Okay, so answer actually C for this question. Next, here bottom, here top became a bottom, bottom became a top, and 3 lines important. This L shape first L, the triangle, 3 triangles required. L 3 triangles. Okay, L 3 triangles required. Observe, 3 triangles required. Okay, next, option A is the right answer. Next, this is actual cause and effect. So observe, the university authority discontinued the teacher's contract to teach the first year students mathematics. Okay, discontinued. So that's the reason. If the semester examination, most of the students first year of the engineering university failed in mathematics. This is cause, this is effect. B is the cause, A is the effect. Cause and effect concept. Next, here train traveling. So length of the train and distance 5 plus 1. Speed 60 km per hour. So 6 by 60, that is equal to 1 by 10 hour. Convert into minutes. 1 by 10 into 1 hour 60 minutes. Then answer 0 0 cancel. Answer 6 minutes. Okay. Next, you can observe this one. This one also based on analysis. D is the right answer. Observe carefully. Last question. Last question, my dear friends. Okay, last one, observe. The number of students who took history and geography among other subjects. History and geography among other subjects. History and geography important. History and geography among other subjects. Okay, only history not taken, only geography not taken. History and geography, okay, among the other subjects. You can observe 20, 18, 13, 18. So overall answer is C. Okay, overall answer is C. History and geography important among the other subjects. Okay, among the other subjects. If you take 18, this 18 not taken. This is not in geography. Okay, these 2, 18, these 4. Observe. You are getting answer is 63. We are getting. Okay, these are the questions from the aptitude. In case any corrections, and message me. Okay, in the link. Thank you, my dear friends. From the aptitude, these 15 questions.
My dear friends, let's start this environmental engineering question and analysis. The good about the subject is this is the highest weighted subject in this particular exam today. 11 marks out of 100 is allocated to this environmental engineering. All the 11 questions are very easy. You can attempt all the questions without any error. Very easy questions, straightforward questions are asked. Even the calculation is also very easy. You can easily calculate without calculator, right? Okay, now let's look at the very first question in this session. Okay, this is a very famous question. Which is the process used to achieve the zero hardness in water out of the following? All the given options are hardness removal methods, but zero hardness can only be achieved with the help of ion exchange method. That is what? Ion exchange or zeolite method. That is what? Famous question, you already know. Look at this. Non-return valves are provided on the dash of a pumping main. See, you know the non-return valve. The purpose of the valve is it allows water in one particular direction. It checks the reverse flow, right? That is the basic purpose of non-return valve or a check valve, or we can say non-return valve or check valve. What is the location of this valve? This is usually provided on the delivery side of pumping main. That is the correct option, delivery side. Once the pump delivers water from the suction side to deliver side, whenever the pump stops, it doesn't allow the water back to the pumping unit. That is what the purpose, right? It checks the water in a reverse direction. That is, delivery side is correct. The next question. The parameter color in drinking water can be measured by comparing the color of water sample with other standard glass tubes called as Nessler tubes. This is also a basic question on color, physical water quality parameter. The option is C, correct, right? Color, Nessler tubes. The next one. This is the simple question. Is asking about area of the filter bed required. The maximum water demand per day is given 48 million liters. The filters are rated to work 5000 liters per hour per meter square. Determine the area of the filter bed required. What is the total area of the filtration required is the question. You know very well the basic things. You can play with the units, right? The discharge, the maximum water demand means Q he has given as 48 million liters. 48 million means 10 to the power of 6 liters per day. Per day I converted into 24, therefore these are 48 liters per hour is the discharge. You know, rate of filtration is given, ROF is given as 5000 liter per hour per meter square. 5 into 10 cube liter per hour per meter square is the ROF. What is the area required? Discharge divided by ROF will give you area directly. Therefore, the area of the filtration required equal to Q divided by ROF will give you 400 meter square is the answer. Look at the very easy calculation. You can say 2 into 10 to the power of 6, right? I just taken that liter per hour divided by 5 into 10 cube will give you 2 by 5 times of 1000 will give you how much? 400 meter square is the correct. Which option is matching? This option C, correct, right? Easy calculation, very easy. Next, for a given discharge design flow of 32,000 and the detention time of 90 minutes, determine the capacity of settling tank. Simple question, with the units you can play. He is asking about the capacity. V equal to, you know, Q times detention time. This is the easy thing. What is the volume Q given? 32,000 meter cube per day. 32 into 10 cube meter cube per day. I am converting this into meter cube per minute. This is in days, meter cube per day, 1 day, 24 hour, 60 minute. Multiply with what is the detention time given? 90 minutes. Will give you direct meter cube answer, right? If you calculate, you will get 2000. 8 3s, 8 4s, and you can say this is 3, 30, 32s, 2000 is answer, right? 2000 meter cube. With simple calculation in less than 30 seconds you can answer, right? This is option C, very easy question. Next, activated sludge is the, he is asking what is the meaning of activated sludge. Look at the options given. It is the sludge settled in humus tank. Second option is saying sludge in the SST secondary tank after aeration and rich in the microbial mass. Again the same, but it is rich in the nutrients. Final option is activated sludge in aeration unit. In aeration unit there is no settling occurs, only we allow settling in the SST secondary settling tank, that we call it as secondary sludge. It is rich in microbial mass, since in aeration tank we provide oxygen supply to the wastewater, where microorganisms decompose the organic matter, right. During the decomposition process, organic matter is break down into simple end products, and the biological flocks will settle in the SST, that is what rich in biological mass. That you may confuse between B and C, but option B is the appropriate correct answer, right. That is what B. Next question. This is also famous question. The liquid that has percolated through the solid waste and has extracted dissolved or suspended material is called. What is the highly concentrated liquid waste generated from solid waste site? That is what leachate, right. One of the famous question in a solid waste management, easy question. Next, look at this. When 3 ml of sewage is diluted to 450 and the loss of oxygen during the BOD test is given as 4 milligram per liter after incubation for 5 days at 20 degree, what is the BOD of raw sewage? Very simple question. He is saying loss of oxygen during the BOD test is 4 milligram per liter. Loss of oxygen means initial oxygen minus final oxygen will give you loss, that is what consumed, that is 4 milligram per liter. Here the important thing is 3 ml of sewage is diluted to 450 ml. What is the dilution factor? What is the dilution factor? If 3 ml is diluted to 450, how many times that sewage sample is getting diluted? That is what dilution factor. The basic understanding about dilution factor is that. Therefore, 450 divided by 3 will give you dilution factor. How many times? 150 times 3 ml. 3 ml becomes 450 ml means we diluted 150 times. Therefore, dilution factor is that. Therefore, BOD is how much? BOD 5 at 20 degrees centigrade is, what is the initial minus final? Directly given 4 milligram per liter. Dilution factor is 150, will give you 600 milligram per liter is the correct answer. This is the important area in characteristics of sewage. Simple question they have asked, BOD test, that is 600. Next, this is also a very simple question. Look at this. A water supply scheme designed for a city having population of 2 lakh and an average water consumption of 250 LPCD, then the maximum daily draft, this is a typing mistake, drift he has given, but draft, right. Okay, what is the maximum draft? What is the maximum daily draft? Qmax daily will give you, what is the Qmax daily? 1.8 times of average demand, right. You know average demand Q. What is the average demand here? 2 lakh is the population, multiply with average consumption rate will give you 50 MLD, right, 50 MLD. If 50 MLD is this, you can say Qmax daily will be 1.8 times of 50, 18 5s 90, right. 90 MLD is the correct answer for this question, right. Easy calculation. Option is B. The next question. In the term E. coli bacteria, what is E stands for? The basic question from biological water quality. What is E. coli means? Escherichia coli. The option is option B. Option B is correct. Next, this is another easy question. The calculation is also very easy. Size of the sedimentation tank is given 30 meter long, 8 meter wide and 2.5 meter overall depth with 0.5 meter freeboard he has given, right. Quantity of water discharged per day is given 4.8 million liters. Find the detention time for the tank. What is the detention time dt? Detention time is volume of the tank divided by discharge, right. This will give you detention time. What is the volume? Here we must be very careful with the volume of the tank. Here the plan area is long 30 meter and width is what? 8 meter. 30 meter into 8 meter into overall depth is not your volume of the tank, volume of water you needs to consider. Out of 2.5 meter depth, 0.5 meter is a freeboard, you need to deduct 0.5 from the overall depth will give you 2 meter liquid depth, this will become volume in meter cube, right? This is in meter cube divided by discharge. How many liters of water per day it is treating? 4.8 million liter means 4.8 into 10 cube meter cube, right? Million means 10 to the power of 6 into power minus 3 will give you meter cube per day it is, right? This is meter cube per day. You will get the detention time in days. If you multiply this value of days with hours, you will get the answer will be in number of hours, that is the detention time. If you calculate this 24 2's, here I can take 1 0, 10 square. Now 2 cancel, 240 by 100 will become 2.4 hours is the detention time, right? 2.4. Which option is correct? Option D correct, right? Okay, that is all about environmental engineering questions. All of them are very easy. You can answer 11 out of 11 without any error, right? Very easy calculations also. Now, let's just discuss about the construction management CPM questions. We have 7 number of questions here. These are also easy questions. Look at this. Salvage value is considered in valuation. Salvage value is considered in valuation. The next, what does a negative float in the network diagram indicates? If the float is negative, project is behind the schedule. If float is positive, project is ahead of schedule. If float is 0, project is on the schedule. Here he is asking negative float, therefore the project is behind the schedule is the correct option. Okay, next, earned value is calculated as planned value multiplied percentage completion will give you earned value. Okay. The next question, what does crashing mean in scheduling? Crashing means the providing additional resources to the project to reduce its duration. That is what crashing means. Look at this, here the option C matches. Reducing time, that is what? Project duration, with additional cost, that is what? We are providing an additional resource to reduce the duration of the project. That is option C correct. This one, what is the penalty for an unauthorized construction as per RERA? That is what? RERA, that is 10% of project cost, right? This is as per the RERA, the unauthorized constructions will penalized 10% of the project cost. Okay, look at this, the floor area ratio is defined as built up area divided by plot area. Answer is B. Next, which one is not a method of taking out quantities out of the given? Crossing method we can pick for not taking, not a method of taking out quantities is crossing method. Okay. This is the end of this session today. We have discussed all the questions covered in this session. I hope you have done this exam well. You can score easily out of 190 plus, right? Thank you. All the very best.